Hey everyone, this is Rick,
Hey guys, this is Andrew.
and welcome to Nook's Cranny. Today we're talking about some of the things that we expect to see at E3, as well as some things we want to see at E3, even though most likely they will not be talked about, as well as just some things we want to see on the Nintendo Switch in general. So we kind of wanted to just give you guys an update on some of our thoughts and opinions on what we want to see and expect to see, and we want to know yours as well. So at the end of the video, leave a comment down at the bottom and let us know what you want to see or what you expect to see, or if there's anything you think we left off the list. On that note, Andrew, what are some of the things you expect to hear at E3 or want to see on the Switch this coming E3?
All right, so I'm trying to keep my expectations as low as I can since it's Nintendo we're talking about, but at the same time there's so much but at the same time there's so much stuff I want them to reveal, so it's kind of hard to do that, but the first thing that I have on my list is Virtual Console. I really want to I mean, that's kind of a given. I think everyone it's just kind of a universal thing. Everyone is just accepting the fact that they're going to talk about that. If they don't, it would be really weird. And I think the big thing that everyone wants, everyone knows about it, GameCube Virtual Console. I think that's the number one thing that everyone wants, to be able to walk around and be able to play games like Super Mario Sunshine, the original Animal
Sunshine.
Crossing, and stuff like that. And that is without a doubt like the number one. I mean, I wouldn't say the number one thing I want to see revealed, but the number one obvious thing I want to see. Like I'm fully expecting that, but I'm still excited to see it, even though we know about it.
So, question:
Well, we don't know about it, but I mean, it's
would Sonic Adventure 2 Battle be included in that Virtual Console? Because if so,
Uh,
I'd be playing Chow on the go every day.
eventually, but I don't know if they would show it off. And that's the thing. Like, that's the thing. I want to see them. I want to see them just go all out with it and say, "Hey, here's the Virtual Console." Blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, halfway through talking about it, oh yeah, by the way, the GameCube is going to be on the Virtual Console, and then have a sizzle trailer of a whole bunch of games coming out. They don't all need to be out day one, but to have a sizzle trailer showing off some big games such as obviously Sunshine, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, stuff like that. That'd be awesome. Even not as popular games like Mario Golf, Toadstool Tour, I would love to play that game on the go. So they would honestly empty my wallet out with the GameCube Virtual Console.
I mean, I'm taking a look at all the games I have on my shelf right now. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I would buy Wind Waker again to play that on the go. I'd play Sonic. Actually, there's no way they could port Animal Crossing over to that, because then it would have all the NES games on it.
Yeah.
If they didn't think about it, I hope so, because then you would have NES games on the go.
I'm sure that they would probably go out of their way to remove those games.
I 100% agree with you. But even like Mario Party, 4 was a good one. The other ones I didn't really play much on the GameCube.
Four
Super
had
Monkey
the best.
Ball.
Yeah, four
Oh
had the
my
best
gosh.
mini games. 6 had my favorite maps though.
Yeah, I mean, Super
That's
Monkey
what
Ball.
it was for
Can
me.
you imagine that?
Oh my god, yeah, Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2. That'd be so much fun. They need to make it so each person can somehow. I mean, I know that the Joy-Cons don't have all the buttons that a GameCube controller has, but with simple games, being able to play in tablet mode and pull out Joy-Cons and be able to play, let's just say, an easy game like Super Monkey Ball that only uses the joystick and that's it. You know what I mean? Imagine pulling that out with a group of friends, everyone going around the Switch tablet, and everyone playing Monkey Target or something like that. That would be so much fun.
Monkey Target. That was so great.
That game was so much fun.
You know what? Super Monkey Ball is actually the perfect game that I'm thinking about for the Switch, because
Yeah, it
that's
is.
probably the one game I would put. What's it called? The gyro controls, whatever. That's the one time I'd probably use it. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
I'm
would.
just thinking
I
of all
would
the
definitely
games.
play the hell out of that game.
Yeah, so
Switch.
so would I. So would I. I mean, Mario Golf I'd play again. You nailed it. I mean, I would buy the Wind Waker for the third time or second time. I'd probably buy Ocarina a time, even though it's not GameCube. I'd buy that again, because I bought it on the GameCube.
Yeah, just to be able to play them all on the go. I mean, obviously, Ocarina of Time 3D exists, and we both have that, but still. If the Switch, I have it on me all the time. I would rebuy Ocarina. I'd rebuy Super Mario 64. I'd rebuy all those, probably. As long as they're not too expensive, at least.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, that's the other thing. I mean, if they're charging $30 a game, I would have to choose wisely. If they do like $15, $10, I mean,
Well, I'm sure
they're gonna get more money out of me then than they would if they charge like $30 a game.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously the Nintendo 64 games, I mean, their pricing in the past has always been $10 or cheaper, unless they go with the route of HD remastering all their games, which I doubt they'll do, because I mean, I would love to have all those games completely upscaled to HD 1080p, but I don't know. But if their pricing model in the past is anything to go by, I think $10 every N64 game. I think it should be a little bit cheaper than that, but I think I'd still buy some of the big games that I want. Obviously, like I was saying, Super Mario 64 and stuff like that. I would definitely replay that game. That's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, that's a good game. Did you actually see someone made a Super Mario 64 port and it had the head of Mario as a fidget spinner? Did you see that?
Wait, sorry, my connection just cut out for a second.
There's there's actually a port of Mario that someone made out there of Super Mario 64, and the head of Mario is actually a fidget spinner. Did you see that?
No.
It's really funny. I'll have to send you the link to the video, and if anyone wants to see it, I know there's a couple YouTubers with it up there. I could put that down in the link in the description below if you want to see that. But that was really funny.
Was that on Vinesauce? It sounds like something like one of his viewers can play.
Yeah, that's where I saw it. I saw it on Vinesauce, okay. But I've seen it across a couple other things already. But Vinesauce is the first place I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So I'll put the link below if anyone wants to see it. But yeah, that I would play Mario 64 again. I mean, I would buy that again because I bought it on the 64. I bought it on the DS, and I think I bought it remastered on the Wii U as a virtual console. So I bought it 3 times. That'd be a 4th time I'd buy it, but I would certainly buy it again. The Switch is just like perfect for every I wish I never bought virtual console or anything else because it's literally perfect for this.
And as long as there isn't any input or display lag or anything, because I remember the Wii U, some of the games, like I remember playing Mario Golf. If you play Mario Golf on the original N64, and if you play it on the Wii U version, at least I forget. I think the gamepad I forget if the gamepad was perfectly fine with it, but displaying it on the TV, there was always display lag, no matter what TV I was using.
Yeah, I that
they
same
need to
issue.
fix that issue. As long as that isn't any problem, I will rebuy like all these games.
Yeah, no, I had that same exact issue because I remember my friends and I would play Mario Golf because I bought it again on the Wii U. It was like a perfect like drinking game to drink to pregame with, and we basically play and all the time like. We'd have to look at the gamepad. You couldn't look at the TV. Looked at the TV, you always missed your swing or you always hit like a bad shot. It was terrible. And I saw the same thing with Donkey Kong 64. I rebought that, and that had the same display lag. So
yeah, I'm hoping that isn't at all an issue. Like, so I mean, we just talked about the virtual console for a while, so
yeah. No,
but that's
the virtual
because
console's a
we
big
want to
piece.
see. Yeah, exactly. We want to see so much of it. So
it is a very big piece. I mean, and that's one thing that Nintendo has versus like Sony and Microsoft. I mean, Sony and Microsoft do have, you could buy old games, but Nintendo's big into it, and I feel like a lot of times they've screwed it up by overpricing stuff, and they've also made certain games not available they should have. And it's a shame because if they did it right, for example, if now that Nintendo accounts look like they're linked to everything, once you purchase it, you should be able to bring it across consoles. And if that was a thing, I mean, I would rebuy every game I've ever purchased.
I think they're going to start doing that.
You.
I think they're going to start doing that from now on. Like, I'm not saying that if you own a game on the Wii U, you'll be able to transfer it to the Switch, maybe at a discount like they did with the Wii to the Wii U. But I think from now on, since we're going to be paying every month or yearly for a subscription, I think that whatever system comes after the Nintendo Switch, whether it be the Switch 2.0 or whatever, I'm pretty positive that they'll all carry over. I'd assume that they would. If we're paying an annual fee to have this online service, I think that should be like justified enough of a reason for us to be able to carry over games from system to system. So, especially since people have shelled out from the Virtual Console since 2006 when the Wii came out. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And that's the other thing too. So, actually, 2 questions for you. The first one, you would remember this. I think on the Switch they talked about being able to stream straight to Twitch. Is that a thing? Did you hear about that?
I don't know about Twitch, but I know the record button that takes photos.
Yeah.
That eventually they said is going to be able to take videos. I'm assuming if you can take a video on the Switch, then you'll be able to upload it directly to Twitch. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to implement that, but I don't know. I mean, they may have said that before, and I just didn't see the article, but I know that over time you will be able to take video.
I'll have to look into that because I mean that would make it a lot easier for. I was actually contemplating on just going and buying something to record the Switch on to stream for you guys and whoever wants to watch and any games that you want to see. I mean, we have almost every single game out there, so that would make my life a million times easier if they actually implemented that. And then that would be a really good E3 announcement too. Because I know Twitch is always at E3 and they always have stuff along there, so that would actually be a really good E3 announcement.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Because the Xbox One and PS4 do that, I'm pretty positive. So
yeah, and that's newer. So that would be really cool. And then the other thing too is with the Switch, say Virtual Console comes out, I think they're gonna have to eventually redo the entire eShop on the Switch. It's just not done too well now, and I think they were waiting for the holiday season to revamp it and send it out there for everyone. That's one of my things, because if they want Virtual Console, I don't know how they would implement that in the current layout right now. So that's definitely something I think would have to get updated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they've done that with the 3DS and Wii U eShop. I mean, I'm not saying the complete interface was changed, but they did fix a lot of... They did at least update it so you could search specifically for specific things. They had like different categories and all this other stuff, so they'll definitely fix that around. I'm pretty positive, as well as hopefully eventually bring themes that you can download, because I remember the 3DS, you could download a whole bunch of themes, and I'm pretty sure they're going to eventually do that with the Switch, because if you go into the settings, there's a theme tab, and currently by default all that's there is a white and a black theme.
Yeah,
so I'm fully expecting like at E3 hopefully they say, oh yeah, like right now you can go and buy Super Mario theme, maybe a Super Mario Odyssey theme or whatever. I'm also expecting them, like, I guess, to transition away from Virtual Console, just talk about Zelda the DLC for Breath of the Wild. I'm fully expecting that to be at E3. I don't really know what to expect from that DLC. I know that they outlined the first map pack, but I don't really know what to expect from the second map pack whenever that ends up being released.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna buy those regardless because I'm a huge Zelda fan, and I've put so many hours into that game already. But I definitely expect that at E3. I really hope. Now, here's the other thing: the game is so large, the world is so large, and I know, Andrew, that you're just starting to get big into the game because you were into Mario Kart for a little bit, but. Yeah. I'm telling you now, the amount of time I spent into that game, the map is huge, as you're aware, and anyone else who's played it. So if the DLC is the same, I mean, obviously not the same size, but it's a huge addition to it, I don't mind them showing gameplay of it. If the DLC really isn't that much into it, I don't want them to show me anything, because I feel like Nintendo's done that in the past where they show you, hey, you know, this is a DLC, and they show you everything, and you're like, okay, well,
yeah, it's like watching a movie trailer, and you see like all the cool action scenes just from the trailer, so then you get no surprises when you see the movie in theaters.
Exactly, and Zelda. So I mean,
I thought they did a pretty good job of actually keeping a lot of the cool stuff in Breath of the Wild as a secret. I kind of tried not to see too much myself, so maybe it was a little bit on my end, but I was surprised by a lot of stuff in Zelda so far.
Oh yeah, no, they killed it. So just for everyone's background, I mean, we were following the Switch when it was the NX, and I'm a huge Zelda fan, and I was following it way before. And I'm telling you, as soon as I kept delaying the game, I was like, this game's gonna suck, or like I was like, there's something wrong with it. And then obviously when the NX was coming around, we're like, okay, like, are they holding out? Then they said they're gonna keep it on the Wii U and put it on the Switch, and it was just a complete. I was like, this game is gonna be terrible, or it's just gonna be typical. I mean, they blew it out of the water with this game. I mean, the game is fantastic. I mean. There are very, very little things I dislike about the game, and I could care less. I mean, the game's almost perfect to me.
Oh yeah,
so the DLC is just going to add to that. I am totally game for it. I mean, I will give them. I'll rebuy the entire game again. I could care less. It's awesome. I do fully expect to see that at E3 though.
Yeah, I do. In addition, I want to start straying away from basically everything online. Um, that's how I was trying to transition away with Zelda. But one last thing, I want to hear about like the entire online infrastructure of the Switch. What we're gonna explicitly be paying $30 a month for. So that includes everything from one, just the quality of their online service, whether we're going to be able to get usernames and friend people, all did you hear about those free NES and SNES games every month we're supposed to get?
I actually did not.
They outlined that, but they just said it in one statement and then never talked about it again. So everyone's really confused how that's supposed to work. The way they phrased it, we're apparently only supposed to be able to play the game for a month, and then it's supposed to go away. But that could have just been poor phrasing on there. I don't know how it's going to work. But I want more in depth explanations on that. I want to know everything from the voice, whether it be achievements, obviously the voice chat app and everything. I want to hear about all of that. So they need to talk about that. They will. They'd be stupid not to. But
Yeah,
I think we should.
I completely agree with you there.
Yeah, I think we should start transitioning to like actual games now because it's been going on for like 16 minutes.
Yeah, no, I agree. So looking forward, I know we made a video about it previously, but Animal Crossing, I fully expect to hear something at E3. It's been a while since they've had a new game. I forget how many years, like 5 maybe ish.
And we're not including the spin-offs. No,
and we're not including the spin-offs because they don't count.
I don't think they were made by the same developers either. I could be wrong. I never actually looked it up, but I assume that they weren't.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't remember who the exact developers are. But I fully expect them to at least say, hey, even if we don't have footage or gameplay, this is in the works and this is coming out in 2018, or surprise is coming out holiday season 2017. Which
Yeah, I agree.
highly doubt that's ever going to happen, but. I fully expect to hear something about Animal Crossing. I mean, it's
too
one
big
of
of
the
a
major
franchise for them
players,
not to.
right? Too big of a franchise. I mean, half of the icons you get to pick on the actual Switch as your icon are Animal Crossing. They'd be stupid not to. The community's too large. They need to at least say, hey, this is in the works, it's on its way, more details to come.
At least tease it. They don't need to show off a ton of gameplay and be like, oh, it's coming out early 2018. That doesn't need to happen. They can just say, hey, Animal Crossing for the Switch, it exists. Here's one little tidbit. You'll hear more about it next year. Just something like that will make me happy. That's all they really need to do. Just say it exists.
Right. And I think, to transition over to something else, I'm pretty sure, now that I think about it, I think the Animal Crossing developers, a big chunk of them work on Super Smash. I'm like 90% sure that's a thing. So to segue into Super Smash, I don't expect it at E3. If I hear anything at E3 about Super Smash, I expect it to be a port of the old one.
Yeah.
Kind of like they did with Mario Kart, which I really wouldn't be opposed to, if and only if they are planning on making a new Super Smash in the future.
I'll
be honest,
if they do that
I don't need a new Super Smash right now, like a brand new one. Obviously,
I can see.
What?
Sorry, I thought you just cut out, but I guess you just stopped talking. Actually.
Oh yeah, no. Obviously, I would not say no to a new Super Smash, but we don't need it now. I would love for them to say, hey, we're porting over the old one. It's going to be out, surprise, whenever, and then say, there's going to be a new one coming in the future, and leave it at that. You don't need to give me any year, you don't give me anything. I'm okay with the old Super Smash for a little bit, as long as they're bringing, Odyssey, Splatoon 2, and everything is coming on time and everything, and they're really pan out to be as good as they are, and if they announce Animal Crossing, I'm totally cool with them, saying, hey, we're porting this, want to come in the future, or just say one's coming in the future. I'm cool with that as well.
Here's my tidbit on really all those ports and everything. So for Smash Bros, I'm gonna go on a limb and just say if there's any game that we get nothing other than a port of, I think it would be Smash Bros, because I know that, and this is just my opinion, obviously this isn't fact or anything, but I know that somewhere, I think it was Sakurai or someone was saying that finishing Smash Bros was actually like a big endeavor, and he didn't really want to go through that again. So I feel like they're just gonna make a port of Smash Bros. So there's Smash Bros for Wii U, Smash Bros 3DS, just make Smash Bros for Nintendo Switch. I think that's kind of why they went around with that branding for the game, so they don't really have to go around and say, hey, now we're making Smash Bros Universe or something. You know what I mean? This next big Smash Bros, and just kind of make it a flat base game that they just keep expanding off of. Do I want that? Not necessarily, but I can kind of agree with it if they want to start developing different types of games, and people are going to buy Smash Bros anyway. But I don't even think the port would come out this year. I think that there's too much stuff for the holiday season, because think about it. Yeah, a lot of hardcore gamers like us bought the Switch at launch or shortly after, but the majority, the mass market that they're trying to cater to, isn't going to be buying the Switch until that holiday season. And look at all the games they already have for the holiday season. They have Breath of the Wild, they have ARMS, they have Splatoon 2, they have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they have Super Mario Odyssey, they have Xenoblade Chronicles 2, they have Fire Emblem Warriors. Like, do they really need another big game competing with that? Especially since there's all these rumors about potentially Pokemon coming to the Switch. Like, God, whether that's true or not, it doesn't even matter. There's already so much stuff that I don't even think they'd want. They wouldn't want Smash Bros competing with Mario Kart like that. I mean, I know they kind of did that with the Wii U, but that was a different story when they didn't really like have much faith in the Wii U anymore, and they were just kind of shelling out the games and just saying, hey, this is our last effort, let's just go with a bang and just see if the Wii U sells. If not, then let's just move to the next thing.
Right. So for a hardcore gamer like me, I want them to do it, but you are 100% right. They aren't going to need it for holiday season. I mean, there's no need to rush it.
And they could do it. I'm not saying it would be wrong of them to release it this holiday season. I just would guess that they wouldn't. I think that would be a perfect game to put out for maybe summer or holiday season of next year.
Right.
We could see it, and
at that point, I'd rather them just wait and then make a new one.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I could see it coming out this year, but I just want to be a little skeptical on it because I see too many holiday season games already.
Right. Okay, so why don't you go off another game on your list? I know this is pretty long already, so why don't you go off and we'll do a couple more.
Well, okay, so since I just mentioned Pokemon in that, I'm not saying I fully expect to see a Pokemon game at E3 for the Switch. I think, if anything, a Pokemon game will be announced. Like, if there is any Pokemon game announced, I think it'll be specifically for the 3DS, whether that be a remake of Diamond and Pearl, Pokemon Stars, whatever. I mean, Game Freak has been pretty good with surprising us recently with their announcements, so I don't even want to try to think of what they're going to come up with. But
right.
But there have been a lot of people talking about. So since Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter XX was just revealed to come to the Switch, and in case you don't know, Monster Hunter XX is the Monster Hunter X is the US or the Japanese version of Monster Hunter Generations here in the state. So what that would be, I guess that'll be like the equivalent of Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate if that were to come stateside, which I'm assuming it would for the Switch. But I don't want to get too off topic because what I was trying to say with Pokemon is that Monster Hunter for the Switch is doing it so you can actually do cross-save and cross-play between the 3DS and Switch versions, which proves that Nintendo has made it so the Switch and 3DS can interact. So I heard some people speculating saying, well, this would be if they were ever to make a Pokemon game like this early on a system, because they never did it before. I remember when the DS came out, they released Pokemon Emerald after the DS came out. They did the same thing with Black and White when the 3DS came, or Black 2 and White 2 when the 3DS came out.
Well, that's because it's a system seller too.
Yeah, exactly. But I heard people saying, if they were ever to jump boat on a system this early, it would be the Switch, because, well, one, Monster Hunter is going to be out on it. The Japanese market is just going to eat that. You know what I mean? It's just going to buy a ton of Switch units. I guarantee you, in Japan alone, they're going to sell like a stupid amount of Switch units like this holiday season, just because of Monster Hunter. Let alone, like, that's not even taking into account whether Pokemon comes out on the Switch. But the big thing would be is if they dual release, let's just say, who knows what the game will be, but let's just say it's Pokemon Stars, dual release it on the 3DS and Switch. They said this would be like the perfect time for them to do something like that. Do I think it's going to happen? Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. Like, I would just go on a limb and say no, but I don't know. I think it's a lot more possible now than I thought it was earlier after I heard people talking about that.
or they make a new Pokemon Stadium that links to the 3DS, and you can port your Pokemon over.
See, that would be cool if they say, yeah, Pokemon Stars is coming out on the 3DS, but you can get Pokemon Stadium 3 or whatever the heck they end up calling it on the Switch.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I mean, I would that way.
Yeah, I would be perfectly fine with really anything that isn't too big of a spin-off. Like, I don't want to see them be like, oh yeah, Pokemon, I don't even know, like Pokemon Rumble, whatever is coming out on the Switch. And I really won't care about that, but...
Okay, so I'm going to go and tell you about my last one. Actually, I have one request, and then after that, I'm going to do my last game, because I know this video is getting a little long, and then you can go to do your last one. I expect to see eventually a Mario Golf, and I think that might be an E3 thing that they just announced. I feel like that's always just shoved in the middle of stuff, Mario Golf. It's never really like a seller, but it's one that people pick up when they buy other games.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it, they may not talk about it at E3, but eventually I expect it on there. And the last item I expect eventually, Chao, in any Sonic game, the new one coming out, they better have it. That will sell systems on its own. They can make a Chao game that'll sell systems.
Yeah, there's a decent community that would pick up the Switch specifically for... I mean, not just a Switch, because I think Sonic Forces is coming out on both Xbox One and PS4, but disregarding Nintendo, just talking about Sega specifically, I think there's a huge fan base just for Chao that would pick up the game, like the new Sonic Forces, just for Chao.
Yep. I totally agree with you, and that needs to happen ASAP, because... even if they port over Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and I can do Chao, I'm cool with it. So, but they got to bring that back in some way, shape, or form. But I think Mario Golf is one of those not system sellers, but one of those like fillers that just pops up out of nowhere in the middle of a life of a system. So and I feel like everyone picks it up, or most people do.
As much as I want it, I really don't expect it this soon. That might be like a late 2018, 2019 game. I mean, I would love to see it though, but I just I'm not gonna expect it though. All right, I'm gonna list, just because I don't want this video to really be any more than a half hour. I'm gonna list my expectations, the rest of my expectations, so I can go over some far-fetched things before we hit the half-hour mark.
Go ahead.
So I had Monster Hunter XX being localized. God knows when that would come out, but I just have it on the list. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, because there have been a lot of rumors about that, and obviously the huge leak with all the information. Interesting game. If we want to, we can make a separate video just talking about this. I'm kind of interested in it, but we'll see. We need to see more of it. I have more third-party support, so I think like two big ones would be Rocket League and Call of Duty World War II, because I don't think those games would be too hard to port. And there have been rumors about both of them, so who knows? Maybe Nintendo is making up deals with some third parties or not. And then I had Animal Crossing, obviously, which we already talked about. And then I had Metroid.
Oh, Metroid! I can't believe I forgot that one.
Whether they reveal a Metroid or not, that'll be the true thing that tells us whether they are listening to fans or not. Because I think because I know everyone's argument is that Metroid doesn't sell well. That's not true. Metroid, I mean, it doesn't sell as well as Mario and Zelda, but it still sells pretty decently. Like, if you look at the sales numbers for all the Metroid Prime games, they sold well.
Well, it's going to sell the best now because people want it. Yeah, people who aren't even big Metroid fans want it,
because people are basing all their sales figures like, yeah, well, Metroid Other M was a flop. It's like, that wasn't even made by Nintendo. That was made by some third-party team. So that's not even fair to like put. And I'm not going to sit here and say Metroid is like Nintendo's biggest seller. No, like that's Mario and Zelda and Splatoon at this point, and Animal Crossing. But still, like, Metroid doesn't sell poorly, and I think releasing a big new Metroid with all the people on the internet saying, yo, make a new Metroid, blah, 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 when are we going to get one? I think now's the perfect time to finally release one and test the sales figures again to get the true, because Federation Force doesn't count. Other M, I mean, you can't really base it off that, because once again, it wasn't made by Nintendo. It was made by, I forget the developer. Sumo Digital, maybe? No, not Sumo Digital. I don't know why I said that. I forget, but it was not made by Nintendo, though. It was published, but not made by them.
So that just made me think Nintendo should just get one guy every day, go on Reddit, and just put a poll up and say, all right, pick out of these 5 games which one you want. And then literally they would know what everyone wants. Literally, like they could have one person scroll through Reddit just on the Switch page or Nintendo page for 5 minutes, and they would know everything they want. Which is pretty funny.
Exactly.
But, okay. Is that all you had, or do you have any other ones?
I mean, those were my expectations. Like, I actually expect a Metroid to be announced. I expect it. I'm gonna be very. That's the one. I guess not far-fetched, but that's the one risk I'm willing to take with my expectations. Animal Crossing and Metroid are my two risks. Those are the the only two things that I think are not givens that I would be disappointed if they didn't show.
Yeah.
I do have like other unreasonable expectations, like I want to see the 1,000 Year Door remade in HD and another Paper Mario game that isn't Color Splash or Sticker Star. But I mean, who knows at this point? And obviously, I want to see a Mario Party that isn't on rails, everyone moving in a vehicle. But once again, I mean, those are all kind of who knows.
Yeah. Well, we're just hit that half an hour mark, so why don't we wrap it up?
Yeah, I agree.
So, thank you everyone for listening. Let us know what you want to see on the Switch, and if there's anything you think we left out. I mean, we could ramble for another half an hour. So, comment, like, subscribe, and let us know anything you wish to see on the Switch or expect to hear at E3.
Yeah,
so,
put both what you expect and unreasonable expectations, because I would love to. I'm actually very interested in hearing all of them.
Yes. All right, so thanks guys again for listening, and let us know what other videos you would like to see as well as if you would like to see us start streaming. So,
Okie dokes.
thank you so much for listening in, guys.
All right, thanks guys. Peace.